So this is a video about the benefits of great timing. Having good timing when it comes to decision making and actions. Great timing benefits. Why and how does great timing help in all aspects of life? Well, great timing isn't luck. It's actually a skill, and it consists of acting when conditions, readiness, and opportunity align. It amplifies outcomes in career, money, relationships, health, and entrepreneurship because it multiplies so many things. The impact of the same action taken across at different moments. There's so much benefit involved when it comes to great timing. So we're going to break down why timing matters, how it works, and how to improve it deliberately. So why great timing helps in all aspects of life? Timing multiplies effort. It's the same action, different result. We talk about ideas, okay? A good idea put into play too early gets ignored. That same idea at the right moment becomes inevitable. There's also a chance you could be too late, and that idea, the idea has already been worked on tremendously to the point where your idea is just another one in the ocean of people who already have taken part in the idea. That is to say, it's become commoditized. It's just a regular old thing now. Been there, done that. People have seen it. They've been talking. Timing turns effort into leverage. So this type of thinking applies to investing, where you buy before consensus, before everyone starts agreeing that this is a good investment. As far as careers go, you might join a company before it experiences rapid growth. As far as relationships go, asking when trust is established. And as far as health goes, intervening early versus late. Great timing reduces resistance. So when conditions are ripe, the markets are already searching for solutions. People are receptive. Systems are flexible. Competition is low. During this time where everything is working in your favor, you spend less energy pushing and you're getting more pull. It might be a situation where you have so many opportunities and you just don't know which one or to focus on. You might have to figure things out a little bit there. So this is why, on the same thought process, early movers face skepticism but little competition. Late movers, however, face acceptance but brutal competition. And then you have the well-timed movers who face both openness and demand. And that would be a wonderful place to be as far as market strategy and what have you, especially if you're coming up with a new product or service. So timing aligns with compounding. Most success compounds non-linearly. Early investments compound longer. Early skills become rare later. And early reputation scales faster. So they were talking about early there, and sometimes that's great timing, but as we go on, sometimes it's not the greatest thing. But just a warning, missing timing doesn't just delay success, it destroys compounding time, which is irrevocable. Irrecoverable. Irrecoverable. I am reading from ChatGPT, by the way. Number 4, timing protects downside risk. It might seem you're just floating along instead of doggy paddling upstream. So timing, great timing, protects downside risk. Well-timed actions often enter near, so when you're entering, near a symmetry where things are high upside, limited downside. Well-timed actions. But there's also an exit that you might have to do, and that would be before decay. Before decay. If you realize that could be coming about, you would exit a market, maybe a role within the job market, or relationships. Maybe you notice something. Bad timing. When we talk about bad timing, we've been talking about good timing pretty much thus far, but what does bad timing increase? Well, it increases stress. It increases burnout. It increases capital loss. Your money situation. It increases emotional damage. Bad timing. So how does timing actually work? These are the mechanics. Timing actually has 3 variables aligning. There's the outcome, and the outcome equals action, readiness, and environment. Action, readiness, and environment all together influence the outcome. If any variable of any of the 3 is near 0, the outcome collapses. When we talk about readiness, we have personal readiness and environmental readiness. Personal readiness would be skills, emotional maturity, capital, as far as financial, social, and reputational. Also energy and focus, personal readiness. Many people fail not because the opportunity was bad, but because they weren't ready yet. And focusing on getting there would help you tremendously. So that's the things that you're probably most in control of right there. Some of it, the social capital, you still have to, you can't control how other people see you, but definitely you could help yourself in that regard. And also reputational, you could help yourself out in that regard. And financial, but also there's things outside your, I wouldn't say, do you have complete control over anything? Not really, but you do have a greater level of control over the personal aspects. The environmental readiness, things outside. Environmental readiness, things operating outside of you. Market demand, cultural acceptance, technological feasibility, and economic cycle. All of these things you would have to study, and there's very little, unless you have experience in these areas, there's very little reflection here, because you haven't been making any decisions and they're outside of you. Very little reflection. But maybe you could find a connecting point or two as far as personal areas. Maybe we're getting a little bit too philosophical. So an example, AI is a big deal right now. AI tools have existed for years, however. But the timing became right when cost, computation, compute, user interface, and awareness aligned. There are a number of things that go into good timing, great timing. Also, the need for strategic patience. Great timing often looks like waiting longer than others, acting faster once the signal appears. Most people do the opposite. They rush early and hesitate late. I'll give you an example of hesitation within a supermarket. You and another person might have a narrow way to go, and one of you has to wait for the other one to go in order to get on your paths. There's a very little space there. If you notice the other person hesitates, that's the sign, and I think we've all felt it. It's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. Hesitation is noticeable, and it's not the worst thing in the world. The person might not be on much of a momentum as you. You've been out and about longer. You're more comfortable in the space. You have more of a confident momentum about you. They hesitate. They just got up. Maybe they're haven't walked around. A number of things can create hesitation. So there's that. So here's some timing lessons across key life domains. Career and business. Joining a fast-growing company before it's obvious. Starting a company when costs are falling, but hey, demand is rising. Acquiring businesses when sellers are distressed. But would you look at that cash flow still remains. It's pretty good. Now this type of stuff directly aligns with the holding company that I own. I haven't made an acquisition yet, but it made the point as far as timing acquisitions during tightened credit cycles. And that would be a structural advantage if I took part in that type of action. But also investing in wealth. How does timing show up there? Buying when pessimism is high, but the fundamentals are still intact. Things have just sold off so far. Selling when narratives are euphoric, but you're noticing the margins within the business and within the income statement. Margins have become compressed over the years. And allocating capital when others are constrained. They can't allocate enough. And I do wonder about that one more. I'd like to go into it more. That's what I mean. So here's an interesting thing. The market transfers wealth from the impatient to the well-timed. Relationships and leadership. There's also great timing there. Well, how does it show up? How does great timing ability show up when it comes to relationships and leadership? Well, how about speaking when people are emotionally open, setting boundaries early rather than late, and promoting ideas after trust is earned, not before. Timing often matters than the actual wording. Because you have a lot more going on that's beneficial for you. Remember, it's like floating instead of swimming hard up current. Health and personal growth. Well, how does great timing show up there? Early intervention beats heroic recovery. At any point, we can maybe talk about relationships there too, even though this is the health and personal growth area. Small habits started early outperform drastic changes later. We all have to rest. So rest timed correctly prevents burnout more than motivation does. I'm well motivated. I could do anything. Well, you also have to rest. How do you develop great timing? Well, here's a practical framework. Study cycles, not events. Everything moves in cycles. The markets move in cycles. Careers move in cycles. Energy moves in cycles. Technology moves in cycles. Relationships move in cycles. So looking at all of those things, you want to ask, is this early, middle, or late when it comes to all these cycles? Are things expanding or contracting? And are constraints increasing or decreasing? You definitely want to build readiness before opportunity. You don't rise to opportunity, you fall to preparation. The people that prepare beforehand. That means skills before titles, capital before deals, reputation before influence. There's also second-order signals. Second-order signals that you really have to pay attention to other than just headlines. Don't even really listen to the headlines. You actually want to watch these second-order signals. These second-order signals, and what I'm talking about, capital flows. Where's the money going to? hiring patterns, pricing pressure, either up or down in different economic fields, regulatory shifts, behavior changes. This is a hard one to read on, but would people quietly stop or start doing? Their behavior changes. What do they look like? And we're talking about wide angle stuff, but you could just individually look at somebody and ask. Timing shows up before consensus language does. Great timing shows up before everyone agrees that this is a great thing. Timing shows up before consensus language does. Now you want to act decisively once timing is right. Act decisively once timing is right. When alignment appears, remember those three things, move faster than what feels comfortable. Accept imperfect information. Commit rather than testing endlessly. Great timing plus hesitation equals missed timing or missed opportunity. Also, respect opportunity cost. Saying yes too early or too late blocks better timing elsewhere. What could be said? So often, I think we've all heard this. Often the smartest move could be not acting yet because of the alignment is in array. It's in disarray. It's not there yet. Sometimes the smartest move is also exiting cleanly in order to free yourself and then you can focus on other opportunities. So the core principle of this whole thing is basically timing turns force into finesse. You don't need to push as hard when you move at the right moment.